Hey everyone, what is up, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry. Today we'll be starting Chapter 2 after too long of not recording. So, I know you guys don't really care that much about, the excuses. I kind of got a little... I just didn't acclimate back, I guess, as quick as I would have expected after the trip. And then when I was finally ready to record, we had a variety of, technical issues that kind of kept me from recording. We're recording again, and I plan on making uploads pretty regularly. I say that a lot. Being for real this time. Like, for real. Hoping to do every 2 to 3 days we get an upload. So, maybe I'll stick to it this time. I'm going to try. Alright? Anyways, I did a few days ago, I tried to record a bonus episode where I went back and reviewed some of the stuff from Chapter 1, but because of those technical issues, I wasn't able to finish the video. I'm going to tack on the part of it to the end of this video. It was me reviewing the Chapter 1 prologue. I think that was the only really interesting part of the video anyways. And so that'll just be tacked on to the end of this one, because I think this is probably going to be a short video, just to kind of get back into the flow of things. Unless stuff goes crazy and I feel like playing. Who knows? Chances are this is a short video, and I'll tack that on as like compensation, I guess. But let's go ahead and boot up Chapter 2 of Higurashi. I'm super excited to keep playing, man. Pick your language. No, absolutely not. I did boot the game up like 2 minutes ago and choose original background music. Go ahead and disable that. Go ahead and full screen this. Is it just the same main menu? No, it is different. Okay. Not very different, but it's a little different. We take that. And so, if anyone is curious what audio settings I'm on right now, this is what I've chosen. Original background music / sound effects and original sound effects. So if anybody has a strong preference for the audio, just let me know. And, you know, we can potentially switch, right? If a lot of people are thinking one thing, you know? I feel like I didn't even notice all of these options. Actually really nice. I know I looked at a lot of these. I didn't even realize you could turn off lip sync, because I remember at first I thought it was a little weird. But at this point it's probably fine. Anyways, let's go ahead and just start, jump right into it. Nobody really cares about those settings besides maybe audio. Ooh, what is going on here? Watanagashi, the most possibilities. Cotton drifting chapter. How was your taste of life in Hinamizawa? A curse or a conspiracy? I believe you have fully enjoyed everything, and everything seems suspicious. Here at last. It is no surprise attack, but a real direct incident. Please enjoy it. The difficulty is lower than Onikakushi, but extremely vicious. Okay, alright. So still pretty difficult then? Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's see what shenanigans they're gonna pull. We're gonna have a weird prologue again. I'll not quench your thirst, for you seek the truth and cannot accept that. I'll not quench your thirst, for the truth you desire does not exist. But I still want to quench your thirst, for I am the one who cast you into the desert. I don't know what the bottom right says. Couldn't accept the truth. The truth you desire doesn't exist. But I'm the one who threw you into the desert. It almost sounds like it could be from the perspective of whoever is, like, feeling responsible for this. That just goes by so quick, I can't really think too much on it. Like all that stuff. I'm glad they're back to flashbanging me. See, this is what I missed most about Higurashi. The really bright white screens all the time, you know? It's great. The chirping of birds served as my alarm clock. Huh? Wasn't today Sunday? Wasn't it basically my style to stay up late on Saturday and sleep through the morning on Sunday? Why was I waking up at this disgustingly wholesome hour? Back to sleep. Back to sleep. Bro, I feel that. Obviously, the first thing worth noting is that Keiichi is alive and well, so it seems we are getting some kind of alternate timeline. Is one of the guesses. This is actually something I kind of mentioned in the bonus video, but that this part's gonna get cut from the video, so I'll kind of mention it here. I was kind of wondering exactly how all of the routes are going to like play a part right here. Play a part in this. I can't decide if they're all going to be completely separate and then not really connect, or if it's going to be a game where you have some like timeline, time loop shenanigans going on, where we're going to get information in one route and somehow we're going to remember that information in another, right? I don't know. Maybe it'll go full. Okay, I can't say the name of that game. That makes that a spoiler. Maybe it'll be like a kind of, it's just suddenly we remember some of the crucial information from other routes. Like maybe we suddenly remember the syringe halfway through this route and it changes like what Keiichi is doing. Or maybe Keiichi fully remembers everything, right, going in. Now, obviously, we'll be able to knock out some of these series pretty quick. Or maybe Keiichi somehow fully remembers everything. Maybe that's why he's so disjointed right now. Doesn't seem like it to me. But, it's possible. Maybe it's going to be like somebody in the cast is able to remember everything. And they are going to be the one who makes, like, adjustments, right? Whether it be Keiichi remembers everything, right? Like I was just saying, and changes what happens here, or somebody else in the cast remembers everything and they change the direction of the route, and gradually we get more and more information to solve the case with. Otherwise, I don't know how it would all come together and we'd properly solve the case. So, like, if it's not some kind of like timeline shenanigans, I'm not saying we're gonna have like time travel, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something relevant in the kind of like timeline and how they play into the routes. I might just sound like a bumbling idiot who's reaching right now, but it is what it is. I'd rather get the prediction out there and take a fat L than to not try to predict it all. I think one of the big pieces of evidence that I was looking at was the prologue. Because in my eyes, that seemed like Keiichi dreaming of something that hadn't happened yet. I think was how I explained it. Because to me, that really felt like a scene of him murdering Rena and Mia. Right? And that's exactly what he was like dreaming of, except that hadn't happened. So why would that be in his head? Maybe it's not meant to be literally what his dream was. And maybe that's bait for somebody like me looking back on it. But you also have the fact that he heard somebody over and over again saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Right? Which sounds exactly like what Rena would say. So I don't think it's completely out of the picture. Right? Oh god, I'm 10 minutes in. I haven't even advanced like 4 lines into chapter 2. But that's just kind of one of my main theories about how routes are going to tie into the game. I figured I should get that out before we really started progressing, So let's go ahead and just keep moving now. A phone call. At that moment, the sound of my mother calling me from downstairs finally registered. Phone call? I sprang out of bed abruptly and stampeded noisily down the stairs. Is it going to be Oishi? He's awake. I'll put him on right now. My mother informed the person on the other end of the line.
もしもし、俺。 どちら様?
That makes a lot more sense, but you know.
おはよう、ケイチくん。お寝坊さんだね。だね。
That is accurate. I feel like the music is probably too loud again. I don't know if it adjusted. Like, I don't think the settings saved with it. Music just seems so loud. I think this is probably fine. I could maybe afford to turn it up just a little bit, but we'll just leave it here for the time being. If you guys think it's too quiet, let me know. No, I'm gonna turn it up just a little more. We'll leave it here. I think this is fine.
レナか。こんな朝っぱらから何の用だよ。
Goodness. Yeah, maybe I just needed to turn the master volume down because now those voices are super loud. Oh, this game doesn't have a master volume. Leave it here, maybe?
朝っぱらってことはないと思うな。もうお昼だよ。
Yeah, it's not exactly early day, but I feel that. It was 11 o'clock. I guess you could loosely consider that the middle of the day.
で、なんか用か?
ちょっと待ってね。今、みーちゃんに変わるよ。
Good morning, ケイちゃん。日本語で言うならおはよう、ケイちゃんってとこかな。
Why did it sound like she actually said good morning and then Ohio?
ついでに中国語とドイツ語とロシア語でも言ってみろ。
I'm good on it.
ニーハオ、ケイちゃん。グーテンモルゲン、ケイちゃん。ロシア語ダズビダーニャ。知るわけないでしょ。
Close enough.
まあいいや。バカな話してたら目が覚めた。
そりゃ結構なことで。でさ、ケイちゃん今日暇？
Things seeming to be back to just normal is such a nice change of pace. That'll eventually get shattered, of course, but you know.
ケイちゃんが大丈夫なら全員揃うんだけどな。
Everybody? Did she mean all the club members?
そうだよ。まあ、普段の激戦を思えば、休日くらいのどかになんて思ってるかもしれないけど。
Not anymore.
そりゃ甘いよ、ケイちゃん。
へいへい。あらゆる環境に対応して最善手を模索するのが我が部の趣旨だもんな。つまり休日だろうとお構いなしってわけだ。
So what's the situation?
おお、ケイちゃんも我が部のことが分かってきたね。でどう？これさ。
I had absolutely nothing planned that day. I refused Club President Mion's invitation. What other fun ways to pass the time would I have?
別に予定なんかねえし、嫌だって言ったら不先輩扱いでどんな罰ゲームを課せられるやら。
I think you're right.
そこまで分かってるなら断れないよね。
Yeah. Yeah.
もし OK ならいつもの待ち合わせ場所に1時集合。
Alrighty.
街へ行くから自転車で来てね。
Club activities in town? Oh. Well, we could do them anywhere. Besides, since it was a new venue, there's no way this wasn't going to be intense. New venue. Alright.
私、おとといの惜敗、かなり根に持ってるからね。今日ははっきり言って、負けないよ。
We going straight back into the club scenes? That's kind of nice, though. A couple of days ago was Friday's club activities, that uncompromising poker match. It was a fight to the death. Nobody held back. Nobody could tell who was in the lead or who was last until all the points were tallied. In the end, I won by only one chip. Mion came in second. Yeah, I'd be salty too. Damn it! To think if I hadn't squandered that one chip. Mion lamented thus, perhaps more so than the fact that she lost the match. Mion doesn't lose. That's why Mion only whined when she let the champion's throne slip through her fingers. That's why she was more frustrated than anybody over a close loss. So, did she mean for today to be a grudge match? Oh yeah. You're gonna get it. It's gonna be brutal. I'm already knowing.
おととい同様、一気に畳んで罰ゲームさせてやるぜ。せいぜい自分がやらされても辛くない内容にしとくんだな。
Why the disrespect?
そうこなくちゃ。
So disrespectful.
潰しがいがないもんね。
After that, we exchanged jeers for a bit before hanging up the phone. Oh, I just realized. Wait, my webcam's in the wrong spot. Whoa. Here's my OBS, guys. I forgot that I switched my monitors around. I guess I hadn't fixed it on the Higurashi profile. Oops. As I headed back upstairs hastily to get the key to my bike, I bumped into my mother. She was carrying a futon down. Yep, yep. What are you carrying a futon down for?
そんなとこ俺みんなと街に遊びに行ってくるから
いってらっしゃい車に気をつけるのよ
Yeah, let's not get run over by a white van.
夕飯までには帰ってくるのよ
Yeah.
へいへいちゃんと帰ってくるって
After unlocking the chain from my bike in the garage, I reveled a bit in the resistance the slightly stiff pedal gave as I pushed on it. Alright, let's go. I set off on my bike, cutting through the refreshing morning air. It's nice to see everybody being normal again. I really hope this lasts. My bad,
あ
dang.
待たせたなあれ佐藤とリカちゃんは
Yeah, what happened to everyone?
あの二人はここで待ち合わせるより直接街で合流した方が早いよ。
Fair enough. Oh, I see. If I remember correctly, Satoko and Rika-chan's house were on the other side past the school.
そうそう街で部活ってどういうことだよまさかみんなで覆面をして日が暮れるまでにいくつ銀行が襲えるかっていうのじゃねえだろうな
I feel like they'd still know who's robbing the bank, you know, given what we know about this town and how easily everyone knows everyone, but you know.
別にそれでもいいけど。
Mion wants some bread.
それでも私は負けないけどね。
みーちゃんってね、なぜか現金輸送車の順路とか時間とかをいつもレナに教えてくれるんだよ。
Are you serious? No shot.
なんでだろうね。なんでだろうね。
When are we getting bank robber Mion? What? I spun around with a serious look on my face and looked at Mion. Well, it certainly seemed possible that Mion was capable of doing that.
マジかよミオン
レーナーパンダ何言ってんの
Getting bamboozled.
みーちゃんごめんね。みーちゃんごめんね。
We got outplayed. The two of them joked around. Their bright laughter was the best match for a beautiful day like today.
おい二人とも
I know I keep saying this, but it's so nice to be back to this.
佐藤とリカちゃんが先に待ってるんだろじゃれてないで早く行こうぜ
It's so nice to be back to, like, Keiichi, who isn't, like, constantly feeling threatened for his life, and Rena, who isn't constantly liable to go insane at any moment. I mean, same with Mion, but more so Rena back in Chapter 1, at least. Around and around, fooling about like two fluttering butterflies. I earnestly wished I could just keep watching them like this. But the five of us together would be absolutely more fun.
そうだね。じゃあ行こっか。
目標は10億強奪山分けしたらみんなで高飛びだぜ
$1 billion? That's a little greedy, huh? The three of us on our bikes headed over the gently sloping hills towards town. Accelerating hard, we crested the hill. The view expanded as Okinomiya Station came into sight. I occasionally come to the station here. Considering the amount of effort it takes to get here, though, it was quite a hassle. That's why I didn't know much about the area around the station, or Okinomiya itself for that matter. The street we were headed down today was of course unfamiliar to me as well. I feel like a lot of the streets are, but, you know. Going through the railway crossing, we headed past the south end of the
こ
station.
っち側は来るの初めてだな
こっちにはね、ゲームセンターとかおもちゃ屋さんとかがいろいろあるの。
Okay, so where are we going?
みーちゃんが詳しいよ。
Yeah, sounds like it. Given all the board games she buys, it makes sense she'd frequent this area.
ゲーセンもあるのか俺前は結構通ってたからな
Ooh. Well, if that wasn't the challenge already, it is now.
ゲーマーの血がうずくぜ。
ゲーセン通いなんてケイちゃん不良だね。
Keiichi's a certified gamer.
今度来た時に案内してあげるよ。
Okay, so we're not doing that. I honestly thought that's the route I was gonna go.
結構台数を揃えたいい店があるから。
Seemed like the town of Okinomiya was Mion's stomping grounds. I asked her, she could tell me a lot of things about it. Eventually, we came across a store with quite a few bikes parked in front of it. Was this the arcade? No, it was a smaller shop. Looking at the window display, it seemed like your everyday toy shop. But for almost 10 kids to be filing in and out of the store, they were doing almost too well for themselves.
ひょっとしてあの店で今日何かイベントでもあるのか？
その通り。
Oh god.
優勝賞金は5万円。
Oh, we are here for money.
5万円？なんだよそれ。ケイチ王国の5年分の GNP に匹敵するぞ。
The GNP of the People's Republic of Keiichi. Why is him saying that so funny to me? Two cute figures messing about the front of the store noticed us and waved their hands. What's up?
皆様方、お待ちしてましたよ。おはようございますなのです。
おあ
I feel like they basically disappeared from Chapter 1, like after things got crazy, to be honest. They were there a little bit, but not much. I'm intrigued to see if they'll play a bigger role in this chapter.
おはようリカちゃん。さとこ、警察が来る前にケリをつけるぞ。
Or the cops, what are you planning on doing?
目標は10億強奪だ。
Oh, okay. Robbing banks.
ケイイチさんの話がわかりませんわ。
Foolish.
遅くなったかな。リカちゃんたちは今来たの？
No, hopefully not for too long.
今日は早く終わったので、だいぶ待ってましたですよ。
Whoops. You hate to see it.
そりゃ悪いことしたわ。こっちはケイちゃんがなかなか来なくてさ。
Bro, stop disrespecting me like that. I was trying.
ケイイチでは仕方ありませんですよ。
That sounds mad disrespectful, I'm not gonna lie. Saying that, Rika-chan stretched up and began petting Mion's head. Hey, wait a minute. Are you solving everything by making me the bad guy? Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
もちろん。ケイイチさんでなくては務まらない大役でしたよ。
実に嫌な大役だな。
Poor guy, you're the villain now.
こんなので丸く収まると思ったら大間違いだぞ。
I was feeling slightly irritated, so I began to repeatedly smack Satoko on the head. What? Smack, 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 smack.
ケイイチさんがぶったー。
Iconic.
ケイイチにいじめられてかわいそうですよ。
She sounds like she has no sympathy. Man, what a shame.
さとこちゃん泣いてる。お持ち帰り。
I feel like no one has any real sympathy here.
悪い人はレナお姉ちゃんがやっつけてあげるからね。
Yep, you're about to get slumped. Wham! Yep, he's done. He's done for. Rena ecstatically wiped the tears, which were probably fake, from Satoko's face, while Rika-chan gently patted mine as I laid sprawled on the ground. Yes, this is fine.
や
Yep,
っぱりこれが正しい丸い収め方だよな。
something like that.
前歯が欠ける前に新しいオチを探した方がいいと思うけどね。
Boy's gonna lose some brain cells. Well then, upsy daisy. In any case, the greeting for today went well. that's just normal. You just getting knocked out cold. Yeah, that's not quite what happened. But you know, inside the toy shop, there are about 10 boys around the same age as me. Apparently they all knew Mion, and finding out that she had arrived, they greeted her with jeers a few at a time.
みーちゃんはこのおもちゃ屋さんの常連なの。
Sounds like it.
だから
Not
友達
surprising,
も
though.
すっごく多いの。
I mean, you gotta get the board games from somewhere, am I right?
おもちゃ屋の常連って何なんだ？
ほらケイチさん、奥をご覧なさいませ。
What's wrong with being a regular at a toy shop? I don't care how old you are. Following Satoko's prompting, I took a look. There were chairs lined up at tables, almost like some sort of birthday party. I realized it immediately.
まさかこれって部活の会場なのか?
It took you that long to realize? Maybe they have not
驚い
cleared
た
his
かい
brain cells
ケイちゃ
out.
ん。私この店のおじさんと仲良しでね、たまに客寄せイベントってことでゲーム大会を開かせてもらってるんだよ。
That's wise. Expand his customer base. I see. Meaning all the boys livening up the place were participants?
そうなの。いつもは5人だけど、今日はもっともっと大勢での部活なんだよ。
Oh good god, this is gonna be a mess. Rena was innocently happy about being able to play with so many people, but my expression grew noticeably stern.
ケイチさんの考えてること、手に取るように分かりましたよ。
More competition.
ほう。じゃあ試しに行ってみようか。言うぞ。せーの。
These are all enemies. Satoko's voice and mine blended together in harmony. We looked over at the participants. After all, the top prize was 50,000 yen. My eyes lit up like a flame. This better be intense, bro.
ね、ケイちゃん。今日は楽しめそうでしょ。
Looks like it.
まあな、ライバルが何人増えようが狙うものに変わりはないさ。
ライバル？
Secure the bag.
はあ。ケイちゃん、クジラが水を飲むとき、今飲んだ水の中に何匹シラスが混じっていたか、いちいち数えてると思う？
She's saying, nah, I'm above that. She said that in an unpleasant voice, laughing with the aggressive glint in her eyes reserved solely for club activities. She's like, nope, they're below me. I'm not down there. Damn it, Mion. She's as serious as she can get today.
本気なのは私だけじゃないよ。ほら、リカちゃんを見てごらんよ。
Mion pointed, looking at where her finger directed me.
なんだありゃ。
Rika-chan was using those kinds of traits to soften up the group with an almost excessive pleasantness.
僕も頑張るのですよ。ファイト、王なのです。
ファイト
Completely emasculated, the group joined Rika-chan in a cheer. The inside of the store had been consumed by the world of Rika-chan. Damn, she's already chomping at the bit. She's smart. You gotta give her that.
今日は楽しくなりそうだね。
Everybody's using their advantages here.
頑張るよ。はう。
Seeing that Rena was also unusually fired up by the large crowd. Hopping about and running around, she'd entered entirely into cute mode. Oh no. In Rena's case, the real fun starts when her tension gauge fills up. Her happy-go-lucky attitude belied the fact that this was the state in which she was the most threatening. Yeah. Oh boy. Everybody's bringing their A game. Mion was making small talk with some of the regular customers she was acquainted with. It's like business as usual with her. Of course, if anybody thought that Mion looked ordinary, they were not qualified to be in our club. Oh man. The shadow beneath her feet was exuding killer instinct, rising up like a chill wind.
ミオンめ、恥も外分も捨てるくらいに
Throwing away her
本気だ
humanity.
な。
ケイチさん知らないんですの？賞金の5万円、ミオンさんの自腹でしたよ。
Oh, she's trying not to lose it. What? She was putting out the 50,000 yen all by herself? At that moment, a dark miasma that warped Mion's surroundings began to appear.
ん？何？ケイちゃん。
Oh no.
私の顔に何かついてる？
Oh no. Why are they doing all of the stuff they do when stuff gets super creepy? It ain't that deep. She gotta be giving that kind of vibe off right now. Eep. A shiver crept up my spine. And Mion, cornering herself like that, she was pulling out the demon lurking within her. Yeah. She's starting, like, cornered here. Like, she's like, what if I put myself at a 50,000 yen disadvantage to start with? And if I don't win, I lose 50,000 yen. Fine with me. Damn it. My knees are shaking like crazy. Bro's worried. Neon's about to go all out, bro. Before I realized it, the store had filled up with even more people. However, the looks in their eyes weren't confrontational. They were looks of expectation and curiosity. They were the eyes of onlookers who were wondering what kind of match was going to occur and who was going to win.
最高の舞台じゃねえか。
You know, you couldn't, bro.
面白くなってきやがったぜ。
Got like, what, 20 players? And then some spectators, too? Oh man, this is gonna get spicy. What? We'll do our best. Let's do it. Do our best, yeah. Rena was already fully charged. That's frightening. That's frightening. Mortal laws and common sense held no power before the might of Rena in her cute mode. True. I definitely didn't want to fight her if possible. You're not going to be able to avoid it. This can't be fair.
頑張りますですよ。
Rika-chan, who was exuding way too much charm no matter how you looked at it, had already won over most of the onlookers to her side. Nonchalantly avoiding things had always been Rika-chan's creed, but for her to be blatantly laying out her machinations like this, something was definitely strange. Like Rena, she was somebody who I didn't want to fight if I could help it.
もちろん一番戦いたくないのはミオンさんですけどね。
Yeah.
何度か部活で奴と視線をくぐったが、
Today's different.
今日ほどヤバいと思う日はないぜ。
Yeah. No, this is next level dangerous. This might be more dangerous than the Mion we saw in chapter 1, bro. That second half of things is getting crazy. I'm talking creepy eyes, Rena. Mion. This might be more dangerous than that.
ミオンさん、一昨日のポーカーで負けたの相当根に持ってるみたいでしたよ。
Yeah. Apparently.
らしいな。つまり今日はミオンの復讐のための特設舞台ってわけだ。
She wants to dangle 50,000 in front of you and then just snatch it away. Almost as though she were psychic, Mion turned towards us. Her eyes silently conveyed the message. You guys just figured that out now? It wasn't just Mion. Both Rena and Rika-chan were more pumped up than they'd ever been. Yeah, one's gonna pop up today. Without a doubt, there will be casualties.
私とケイチさんがなんとなく置いてきぼりですわね。いかがでございましょう。なんでしたらスマートに初戦をお手合わせ願えませんかしら。
Might as well get it over with.
そうしよっか。俺もエンジンがかかるまで鳴らしよし。
Oh no. My spinal column shuddered like it had been struck by a bolt of lightning, like a pillar of ice was being jammed into it, began to freeze. I could almost see the flames backlighting Satoko with their intensity. Even then, while Satoko was displaying a normal smile, it was cold and inhuman, almost as if it were a plastic mask.
そんなに俺を初戦で消したいかよ。
Oh yeah, she's trying to embarrass you, bro.
さっきが隠せてないぜ。
あら残念ですわね。ケイチさんにしてはなかなか慎重でしたよ。
Bro was worried. Without a doubt, it was a trap. I don't know what she had up her sleeve, but if I fought with Satoko during the opening round, my loss would be more than certain than if I went against Mion. Bro, she's rigging the deck. We're gonna play what, average Joe Schmo round 1 then? We just said we're trying to avoid everyone. A pitch black miasma permeated the inside of the store. They all want to win that 50,000 yen prize that much? No, that's not right. The only ones competing for the prize money were the casual participants. I was different. I'd mistaken this as just a way to fool around on a normal Sunday. Didn't matter when it was, or where it was, or who our opponents were. In our club, the goal is always the very top of the mountain. An intense flame that no strong winds could extinguish, hot enough to melt any steel, began to burn inside me. The fuse had been lit on this unprecedentedly intense club battle. Ugh, sheesh. It was then that the owner of the store told Mion in a lackadaisical voice that it was about time to begin.
みんないいかな。
Oh boy, let's get it going, I
慶長
guess.
慶長。
Mion began with the formalities, standing in for the owner, and explained the rules of today's tournament. You're only playing to win. There's no second or third place. That's the same rule as our club. There were 15 people participating. We were to split up into 5 groups via a draw, and each group would have one winner. Each winner in the first stage would advance to the next in order to compete in the final. Okay, so wait. Split up into 5 groups, so it'll be teams of, or like groups of 3 that play off against each other. Okay. And then one big game. It's totally gonna, come on, 5 people, it's gonna be one club member in each group, and they're all gonna dominate.
さて、各卓の競技方法なんだけど、これは各卓で好きに決めていいよ。
Whatever they want.
このお店にあるゲームなら何を使っても OK。
Already in club mode DEFCON 1, I didn't let the small gap in the rules go unnoticed. As long as the game is here in the shop, anything goes.
ミオン、質問いいか？みんな自分の得意ゲームを主張して決まらないんじゃねえのか？
そうだね。決まらないと始められないね。
That's a good point. The spectators also nodded along. It was only natural. There wasn't anybody who would simply cede to their opponent's suggestion.
紳士的に決めてほしいけど、そういう時は店のマスターが決めるってのでいい？
Come on, that's totally gonna benefit Mion, but you can't really say no to that. It was an event at a toy store after all. You'd expect the owner to referee. After that, Mion's rundown continued, and ended with a rule that any losing participants would have to buy the game they'd lost at. A rather nice proposition for the store. Oh wow. That's kinda some BS. Now they're getting scammed. What? First, we used a draw to split into 5 groups. Everybody lined up single file and began to draw tickets that the shop owner had prepared. It was my turn. Alright, time to draw. No matter who I was up against, I'd crush him. At that moment, Mion began to laugh with a hawkish gleam in her eye.
当然わかってると思うけど、部活メンバーには一般参加者とは別に罰ゲームがつくからね。
Wait, what?
そんなことだろうと思ったぜ。内容はなんだ？
What do you mean? Members will have a separate penalty game than the casual participants. I actually don't even know what she means by that.
勝者が敗者一人一人に1個命令。
Okay. So what, like after the tournament? Or... Contrary to how simple it sounded, it was a terrifying eventuality, the subject of which no one could predict. Damn you, Mion. Was she really planning on parading me around Hinamizawa in cat ears and a banana hammock with a tail attached or something? Probably. That sounds about right. Didn't she make us wear the cat ears? She the one who made us wear them in Chapter 1? The look on Mion's face told me. She wasn't going to let me off that easy. On top of that, this time, it wasn't just the person who finished last who'd have to submit to the penalty game.
敗者一人一人に命令。つまり、ビリでなくても罰ゲームってことだな。
It's your first or your last.
そういうこと。
勝者がない場合は、部活メンバーが全員途中で脱落したらお流れか？
Dear God, what's your plan?
ケイちゃん、脳みそは元気？
Bro, unless you're gonna start a fire in here or something, what?
何？
The look in Mion's eyes became that of a lion baring its fangs.
我が部の再生映がどう間違ったらこんなひよこども相手に負けるっての？ケイちゃん、初戦で消えて私に恥かかさないでよ。
That'd be tough. Even so, I didn't feel threatened. The more into it my opponent was, the stronger I would become. He doesn't want weak opponents, or he's gonna play weak.
見てろ。ただミオンにいじめられてたわけじゃないってことは見せてやるぜ。
Bet. You got it, bro.
会おうね。決勝で。
I guess so. Has anybody even looked at what they drew? Like, are these draws rigged as hell? The results of the draw were enough to make you cry conspiracy. All the members of the club were nicely divvied up amongst the 5 tables. Yeah, crazy how that happens. How did this happen when the draw was that random? The thought that I was already caught in Mion's puppet strings made me feel uneasy. I was fine, though. I'll crush all your petty tricks. Do it. Now, where were my opponents? Everybody was headed to the table corresponding to the number on their ticket. The competition at my table was these two, huh? Bro, I feel like he's about to say something like, these kids don't even look like they could play no board games. They're trash. Easy win. Don't underestimate them. These are probably plants. Let's be real. Mion probably planted them to play against you. Catch you slipping. They look younger than me. Huh?
あれお前ら学校のクラスメイトだよな。
あ、どうも。富田です。彼は岡村です。
What's up? Okamura-kun greeted me by nodding his head. So my opening round was to be against my juniors from school. Just saying, but it seemed like a pretty easy matchup. There it is. You've fallen into the trap. Don't get embarrassed, bro. Lucky. Time to destroy them without mercy. There you go. Time to destroy them without mercy. No mercy.
じゃあみんな
I don't care what you're playing. Run the score up, dog.
それぞれに対戦ゲームを決めて始めてちょうだい。
With Mion's declaration, the inside of the store suddenly became lively. Everybody was yelling their favorite games at each other, trying to gain an advantage before they started. Even my two classmates, who seemed taciturn at first glance, began to fiercely insist on their own games as soon as the signal was given. Of course, I would kick those suggestions aside. There was absolutely no reason to pick a game your opponent was good at.
悪いな。どれも知らないゲームなんだ。もっと知名度の高いやつにしてくれ。
Of course, they didn't agree to the games I suggested either. I could only smirk bitterly. Naturally, after 5 minutes, this table still couldn't agree on a game. Obeying the rules, we asked the store owner to decide on a game. Clearing his throat, the shop owner brought over a board game from the back of the store. It was a game called Billionaire. Quite the vintage we have here. Come to think of it, if you lose, you have to buy this game. That damn shop owner. Was he using this competition to get rid of all the games you couldn't sell? That's actually kind of brilliant.
これなら俺も知ってるよ。二人も知ってるよな。ルーレットを回してゴールを目指す。最後に生産して一番お金を持ってるやつが勝ちだ。
What are they playing? Life? The two nodded in agreement, and finally the game was underway. At that time, I already had a feeling of impending crisis. I wouldn't realize why until the game progressed a bit. They teaming or something?
1、2、3、4出産祝いをもらう。全員から5000ドルもらう。悪いね。
Okay, I've built a bit of a lead.
1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8と。ボーナス。銀行から10万ドルもらう。
Oh goodness, so much for that lead, huh? What? The tables return in an instant?
1、2、3。出世コースに進む。
Oh, that's a good route. Seemed like only my piece was landing on the steady spaces. I had doubts as to why Mion didn't bring out board games for club activities. That reason was laid bare to me before my eyes. That's right. I'd only realized it now. This game was completely based on luck. What could I possibly do to make sure I ended up in first place at the end? Nothing. The ultimate outcome of this game was decided in a place beyond human hands. What were the other club members doing? My eyes naturally wandered off to the other tables. Mion's table was... what? And we're doing anything? Are they still not decided on a game? Or is it over already? This naive idea existed to distract me from the most frightening possibility. Mion was lounging about, leisurely holding some juice she bought from the vending machine outside in one hand. When our eyes met, she gave me a look of ease. It couldn't be. She'd already finished? What game was it? That easily? It was probably too late to be concerned with this at that point. With that at this point. Only 5 minutes since we started, and her two opponents were already beyond recourse. They were sitting there, slumped over in disappointment. Boy, they just got whooped. I don't blame them. Muttering to themselves, trying to figure out where they went wrong. For that, they'd find no answer. Was there any reason for their defeat other than they sat at the same table as Mio? Probably not. Then, what about Rena's table? The spectators were causing quite a commotion. It looked like their game was Karuta. The shop owner was apparently the one reading out the cards. Rena tended to dawdle along and space out a lot. Wouldn't she have a hard time with this game?
じゃあ読みますよ。 犬も歩けばくたびれる
Bam! At the same instant, the shop owner began sounding out the words. The card in question disappeared off the face of the table. No, the face of the earth. Impossible. Where did it go? It was against Rena's cheek. She was rubbing it there. Looking at the card Rena was rubbing against her cheek, was some anime-themed version of Karuta, with rather cute Mo illustrations decorating the cards. Basically, it was pictures of a pretty dog girl with a slightly large chest, panting and half in tears as she was being pulled along on a chain. Bro, what? That's diabolical. With those types of pictures, even I could play with godlike speed. Of all people to play that game, it had to be Rena. It was entirely possible that her fingertips were on the verge of breaking the sound barrier.
決まったね。
Mion smiled coolly, seeing no further reason to keep watching. She turned back. Rena in cute mode is truly the most dangerous force to be reckoned with. Honestly, if Rena, when she goes crazy, could somehow go into cute mode, you know how much more scary she'd be? She's already scary. But could you imagine, she has those, like, crazy eyes, right? And then all of a sudden, you see these ones. She's talking about taking things home. Bro, it's over. You're done. After that, the second the card started being read out, bam! Bam! Such decisive sounds echoed. Well then, how about Satoko? Oh, she was playing a rather orthodox game. Concentration. Judging from the distressed look on Satoko's face, it seemed that she was struggling somehow. One of the main characteristics of concentration is that the pace of the game speeds up as it goes on. As the number of cards to memorize decreases, it becomes easier to match several pairs in a row. It wouldn't be exaggeration to say that the first person to take over the flow of the match can run away as the winner. That is true. The cards still in play had decreased. If you memorized the cards that had been turned over before, you should have a good chance to sweep the table at this point. Satoko probably knew the positions of all the remaining cards. However, her turn came a little too late. If her opponent followed up, the match would be decided.
北条、悪いけど、僕も優勝賞金を狙ってるんだ。悪く思うなよ。
This guy, did he have the locations of the remaining cards memorized? He was completely certain of his victory. The tension on his face relaxed. Tell me she's about to pull up a dirty trick and mix up the cards, bro. Only menaces do
決ま
that.
ったな。
I whispered that in a bored manner as I turned my attention back to my own game. I spun the wheel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
そんな、確かにここはハートのエース。
She did something. Yeah, what did you do? There was a commotion at Satoko's table as the shout rang out. The other two at my table turned around in surprise. I didn't. After all, there wasn't really anything to be surprised about. The onlookers were confounded, most of them certain that the Ace of Hearts should have been there. There's no way, I must be seeing things. It must have been because I was excited. So assured in his victory, the stress over his defeat ran deep. That's how it is. If his opponent wasn't Satoko, then the Ace of Hearts certainly would have been there. What a fool. When you're up against Satoko, you can't let your guard down for a moment until this battle is over. Yeah, she moved him, bro.
あら、ケイチさんの勝負はまだつきませんの？
Bro, the game of life can take a minute.
センスないですわね。
With a refined tone of voice reserved for only winners, Satoko called out to me. For the casual observer, it must have looked like she only eked out a victory. From my point of view, however, she was only playing around. The roles of winner and loser had already been decided. It was nothing more than child's play. The laughable part about it was that her opponent didn't know his role had already been assigned.
やるじゃねえか。ハートのエースなんておしゃれな罠をかけやがって。
相手を仕留める罠はほんのちょっぴり。それも1個で十分ですのよ。
Satoko was a trapper. Her true talent was never having one misfire. Setting off only one trap was more than enough? Ain't that cool. The fact that the other club members were winning one after another with their own brand of play only added to my impatience at my own lack of progress. Alright, how's Rika-chan doing? How's our club's sly little fox doing? What the heck is that? Over in that corner, the mood at the table was decidedly different from the others. The game at Rika-chan's table was... you know, that battery-powered fishing game? The one where the fish opened and closed their mouths as they rotated on the platform. They used a magnetic fishing rod to pick them up. That old thing. I have never seen that game in my life. It seemed they planned on competing by seeing who could catch the most fish, but they become an atmosphere you could hardly call competitive.
わあ、釣れましたですよ。
She's just luring them in, bro.
うまいうまい。リカちゃんうまいよ。
Bro, she's about to brutally betray all of them. No.
おっとっと、また釣られちゃったよ。リカちゃんはうまいな。
Or they're just letting her win, bro. No shot. I knew that Rika-chan had already charmed her opponents along with the onlookers before the matches had even begun, but brilliantly played. That corner had become an informal meeting of the Rika Furude fan club.
リカちゃんの圧勝だよ。圧勝だよ。リカちゃん、お魚釣りうまいんだね。
No way. She just used that to her advantage like that. That's so sly.
リカちゃんが釣ってるのは多分魚じゃないと思うな。
Hearing that, she glanced over my way briefly. This is my way of getting serious. That's what I heard.
リカにしかできない、リカだから許される大技ですわね。
Yeah. Yeah. A masterful technique.
前原さんの番ですよ。
Yeah, boy, you taking too long.
ああ、すまんすまん。俺の番か。1、2、脱税の追徴課税。
Can't evade the taxes, bro. If he loses round 1, bro. I'm sorry. Come
5
on,
万
bro.
ドル支払う。
In contrast, my game, what an unseemly situation this was. Noticing the uneasiness creeping across my face, my companions came to see how I was doing.
あれ、ケイチ君、ひょっとして苦戦かな。苦戦かな。
He gonna go off on a man for struggling in a luck-based game. Ain't nothing he can do here. There's no element of strategy.
あなた今いくらぐらい持ってますですの？
Okamura, who had wrung lots of money out of the elite course, began to count through a stack of white $100,000 bills.
98万ちょいくらいかな。
That boy going crazy.
富田はどれくらいお金持ちですか？
うん、僕は88万ドル。
But we're gonna have like 25,000.
まだまだ逆転できる位置だね。
Those two, it looked like they would easily surpass $1 million.
で、ケイちゃんはいくら持ってんの？
This is gonna be embarrassing, I'm already knowing. Mion's tone of voice was grim from the get-go. Those are disappointed and disgust as club president.
仕方ねえだろ。このゲーム、ルーレット回す以外に何も作戦がないんだぜ。イカサマがあるとしたらなんだよ。2人に目をつぶって100数えてもらって、その隙にルーレットに細工でもするのか？そんなのできるわけねえだろ。
Rika-chan gently pet my head. Still, she wasn't too happy.
ブー様ですわね。
Dang,
一度は好敵手と思ったのに幻滅でしたよ。
they're going off on him.
投げちゃダメだよ、ケイチ君。
Hey, you know what, Rona? I
何
appreciate
か
it.
逆転があるはずだよ。
I appreciate it.
最後まで頑張ろう。
I mean, we're gonna keep fighting. Like I said, how am I supposed to make a comeback with the game relying entirely on luck? Right? Mion? Mion's face, however, was almost unbelievably indifferent, like she was watching something completely unexciting. She then turned her back without saying a word. That's the ultimate disrespect. I don't think I've ever seen anything so disrespectful in a visual novel, man.
おい、ミオ。
Trying to call out to her. It was a pathetic voice that irked even myself.
失望したよ。
So disrespectful.
みんな本気なのに。ケイちゃんだけは本気になってくれなかったね。
本気ってなんだよ。気合でルーレットの目をコントロールしろってのかよ。そんなのできるかよ。
本気のケイちゃんなら、そのゲームでも開始10秒で蹴りをつけてたね。
How?
みーちゃん、そんなに怒ることないよ。
What? Man, nah, this is BS. Mion's on one right now.
待ってよ。
Mion, in a bad mood, cast me aside and disappeared into the depths of the shop. Maybe it was because it had become an awkward situation, but the spectators dispersed from around my table. Damn it! Are you saying I'm not serious about this? You're saying if I were serious, I would have settled this game of chance in 10 seconds. If I were serious, everybody was praying for my victory. They believed in me. Did I betray their expectations? Was it because I wasn't serious? Ugh.
ゲーム進めます？
Yeah, man, I guess. The two of them were timidly trying to resume play. I didn't respond to that. The table sunk into silence.
前原君は投了でいいかな。
Bro, you better not. The owner, thinking I was forfeiting, started to announce the cancellation of the game. At that moment, the demon inside me let loose a howl and awakened. I get it now, Mion. What it means for me to be serious. I'll show you. Bro, what is he planning on doing? Sheer force of will to control the spinner? Bam! I clamped my hands on their shoulders, speaking in a low voice after pulling them closer.
富田君、岡村君、取引しよう。俺を勝たせろ。
The two of them, not immediately understanding what I had just said or the meaning behind it, were momentarily confused. Why?
前原さん、暴力はなしですよ。ちゃんとゲームで勝敗を。
話は最後まで聞け。お前らの望みは何だ？優勝して5万円か？
そりゃそうですよ。
He's gonna pay him off?
5万なんて大金。二度とないチャンスですよ。
仮に優勝したとして、お前らその5万で何をする？どんな楽しみ方をする？
The two of them considered it briefly.
新しいゲーム買うとか、お菓子とか、
What a guy.
ジュースとか。
小せえ小せえ。バカかお前ら。
Bro, what is he doing?
じゃあ前原さんが勝ったらどんな楽しみ方があるって言うんですか？
俺か？そこが本題だ。今から言うことを黙って聞け。
We club members have a penalty game separate from the casual participants. If we lose, we have to obey a single command from the winner. From another point of view, the winner earns the prize of being able to order the other club members around.
まず富田君、君は里子萌えだよな。
Oh boy.
否定すんな。そ
Exposed.
して岡村君、君は理科萌えだな。
That boy's getting
赤く
exposed.
なるな。
I drew the two of them, red-faced and conscious of whether anybody else heard what I just said, even closer.
美少女、萌え、男の推薦、男のロマン。例えるなら永遠にたどり着けないエデンの園。
Literally, what are you saying right now?
だけど目指すんだろ。それは俺たちのハートに熱い魂が燃えよと叫ぶからだ。
That sensitive age where you couldn't say you liked the girl you liked. Understanding that gave me all the more power.
俺が優勝したら富田君、里子を一日首輪付きで君の妹にしてあげよう。
Oh god. A red fountain spewed from both of Tomitaka-kun's nostrils.
そして岡村君、君には猫耳リカちゃんに手綱をつけてお散歩させてあげよう。
Blood erupted from the vein in Okamura-kun's forehead.
そんなことそんな
Simply outplayed.
歌えるんだ。お前たちは俺に無理やり付き合わされたことにすればいいんだ。前原先輩のわがままの犠牲者なだけいやいやでいいんだよ。分かってる。お前たちの胸の内は全部分かってる。
Then I suddenly lowered the tone of my voice.
俺は灰色の学校生活を送ってきた。それがどんなにつまらなく人生の大切な時間を浪費したことになるのか
Bro's
身を
really,
もって知った。
bro's really driving the point home.
だから後輩のお前たちにはそんな時間を過ごしてほしくないんだよ。
Bro's played it from the angle of him being some amazing, like, senior.
自分に素直になれ。夢を追え。そして叶えろ。俺が叶えてやる。
It was this moment that the values of men bridged generations. Did I ever have a mentor who ever spoke my mind for me so strongly? Never. There was no way there was. That's because in a man's lifetime, you only have 3 fateful encounters. That valuable first time was being experienced right this moment with these two. They're about to forfeit, bro.
じゃあいいな。
Bro, if he doesn't win this, he's gonna get jumped.
行くぞ。せーの。ゲーム終了。
It was such an assertive declaration of the game's ending that everybody in the store turned and looked. It had been less than 3 minutes since I was on the verge of forfeit, and all the spectators were certain of my loss.
圭一さん、どうなりましたの？勝敗は？
俺の完全勝利だ。
なんですって？あの状況、どうやってひっくり返しましたの？
I'm different.
家庭なんか必要ないよな。男と男の決着だよな。なあ、みんな。
Bro really bribed these kids. The two of them, stifling tears of gratitude, answered strongly from the bottom of their hearts. Exactly what kind of miracle occurred here during those 3 minutes the spectators all looked away from my utter disadvantage. Yeah, man, we did it. Something like that. The spectators were puzzled at how I was able to so quickly overcome that hopeless situation. That guy, is he able to control the spinner wheel with his eyes or something? It's a miracle. What devilry is this? He's in cahoots with that Mio, you know? There's no doubt he had some strange trick up his sleeve. I looked at the crowd, who couldn't help but be excited, out of the corner of my eye. Now fully awakened and in battle mode, I let out a derisive laugh.
これが俺の本気ってことだよ、ミオ。
遅えっての。
Yeah, I guess so. Baring our fangs at each other, we laughed together in a most unsightly fashion.
じゃあこれで部活メンバーが全員1回戦突破ですわね。
So now it's just an ordinary club day. Same members
と
as
いうこ
always.
とは、今度はみんなで対決だね。対決だね。
This is gonna be brutal.
僕はもう賞金で買うものを決めていますです。も
Dang.
ちろんですわ。ね
Satoko and Rena smiled, sneered at each other. These guys. They really think they can win against Keiichi my bar when he gets serious? Okay, the confidence. The confidence. I'm here for it. Could you imagine if he loses, though? How the stink eye he's gonna get from from those two kids, bro?
ミオ、失敗だったな。お前はさっき俺に助言すべきじゃなかったぜ。
ひよこが
Mewling newborn.
私に勝つなんて100万光年早いって。
That's not even how light years are. They're not a measurement of time.
ミオ、光年は距離の単位だぞ。
I'm glad that wasn't just an accident. And that got pointed out. Oh, she's embarrassed. She's embarrassed.
どうするのみーちゃん。
Take the L.
5人でどう戦うのかな
We're all about to fight over
か
it.
な
She gonna say poker? Wants the rematch?
これだけ豪華な面々が揃ったんだからね。今日という日を急ぐのが惜しいよ。
みーの言ってる意味が難しいです。
Yeah.
まさかてめえ。
Mio's hair flowed elegantly, almost like a cape, as she turned her back to the table.
今日の勝負を部長園崎美音が預からせてもらうよ。勝負方法と日時は未定。ギャラリーは多い方がいいね。ひなみ沢も沖宮も全ての人間の目の前で。
She's trying to get everyone? Oh dear
こ
God.
れ以上ないくらい徹底的な決着をつけてあげるよ。
No pressure.
逃げる気ですのいくらみおさんでも卑怯ですことよ。
Not running away. Putting more pressure on everyone.
ひよこが生かされたことにまだ気づかんか。
The combative aura billowing out of Mion's body formed a barrier, stopping Satoko's advance.
また会いましょう。せいぜい首でも洗っとくことね。
Why is this being put off? Mion kind of did just dip, I'm not gonna lie. With a shrill laugh, Mion left the store. After a moment of silence, the crowd erupted into cheers. When will they resume the contest? Mion's serious. The other members did great too. That new guy, Maibara, he's got some strange power. He turned the tables in an instant. Bro, if we don't, we're gonna get the meanest stink eye from these kids, bro.
おうミオンなんざ逆さにしてサンズの川に叩き込んでやるぜ
Into the river sticks, bro. The part of the crowd that had apparently overheard the covenant between Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, and myself erupted in a cheer again. Mion's going to win anyways. She's the undefeated empress. I'm betting on Mion. Now it's going to be Rena with that ungodly speed. Satoko the trap artist. Rika the siren. Maybe a long shot, but it'll be Maibara. However, right now, I had no ear for those cheerful voices. Setting the stage for this huge match and then running away like that, I wasn't going to forgive Mion. That's grimy. Outside of the store, Mion was getting on her bike as the shop owner was seeing her off.
逃げるなミオン部長なら逃げるな俺と戦え
Bro just challenged her like
ご
that.
めんケイちゃん、私これからバイト。
Am I wrong to think that's almost suspicious? Like, there's no way she came here knowing she had to go to work later, right? And that she'd have to push it off. Like, I don't know. I gotta be tripping, but it's just such a sudden disappearance. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this was actually like relevant. If they want you to think this is nothing, and then it's actually like Mio disappearing like this, it's actually going to be like something regular in this route, and then it's going to get more and more suspicious. I might just be overanalyzing. Huh? Like you would see in a sketch comedy show. My legs slipped in opposite directions until I was doing the splits. What?
ケイチくんがゲームしてる間にみーちゃんに電話があったの。
Okay, yeah.
残念だね。
Yeah, no, something is going on. Something suspicious.
せっかく暑くなってきたのについてないよ。おじさんの店でさ、特売にお客が殺到してるらしくてさ、レジが足りないから助けてって電話があったんだよ。
I mean, maybe, but has it ever once been verified that she's actually working there when she says so?
おじさんってなんだスーパーの店長でもやってんのか
It's a great question.
ささやかなお店だけどね。でもさ、特売やれば主婦が殺到するの常識で読めないのかね。
I mean, fair.
店員足りないのに卵1パックを一人様1点限り10円なんてやるな。
I was a little surprised. We never think that this was the club president exuding such a dark aura inside the store just a short time ago. It was the usual Mion right now, almost exasperatingly so. My shoulders slumped. That's right. Club mode was over now. Nah, she was trying to keep you from being in your demon awakened mode, bro. She was scared. She's running. But it was really heated today. It really was fun. Man, Mion, she really knows how to fire people up.
私こそ頭がジンジン痺れるくらい燃え上がったよ。
Bro, we did not say that out loud. How did you know?
特にケイちゃん、怖かった。あの場で本当に噛み殺されるんじゃないかって思ったね。
お仕事だから仕方ないけど、本当に残念だね。
Yeah, indeed, there's nothing you can do. I feel like I gotta be looking into this too deep to say like this is more than what it seems, but I don't know. That's the immediate thought that jumps into my head.
この続き本当にやりたいですわね。
But this is also the kind of game where I'm just gonna be suspicious of everything. Like, why is Rena wearing a blue shirt today? It must mean something. Like, it probably doesn't mean anything, right? Like, you know, I probably am gonna say, you know, I think that means something way more often than it actually means something. Just because, you know, you're trying to glean any and every possible scenario, right? And so you're looking at everything. and overanalyzing. That's how I do things, at least. And I tend to usually be pretty good at solving mysteries, like, before they're laid out to me because of it. I'm not gonna say I always do. I'm generally pretty good about it.
いつがいいでございましょう。綿流しのお祭りでやるのなんていいですよ。
Ooh, I wonder if that's a part of why it's called Watanagashi. Now, I don't entirely think the reason that it's called Watanagashi is to do with that. Right? There's going to be more, and I'm willing to bet the Watanagashi is going to be absolutely huge in this chapter. The one literally called Watanagashi, you know? Play a huge part of things. Makes me almost wonder if this is going to be the one where Rika is really relevant, given how, you know, closely tied she is with Watanagashi. I wouldn't be surprised if each of the main crew that isn't Keiichi gets at least one chapter of, like, huge relevance. There's 8 chapters, and 4 of them, they could each get 2, frankly. And I'm pretty sure the game is, like, roughly split into 2. Like, I think it was, what, question arcs, answer arcs? I don't know exactly what those are. I just vaguely remember seeing those terms as I was, like, downloading the games. So maybe it is, like, you know, if you would call Chapter 1 Ren's chapter, maybe Chapter 5 is Ren's chapter, for example. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of Rika's chapters. I have a feeling, but I think they're going to kind of build up the Watanagashi because of this event, and I have a feeling something else huge is going to happen. Like, at least on the scale of what happened there in Chapter 1, you know? We'll see. We'll see in due time.
綿流し祭五強爆闘か。そうだね。考えておくかな。
Right now, what were Rika-chan and Mio talking about? Watanagashi Festival? Cotton drifting 5 demon what?
私、週刊漫画みたいないい加減なノリ大好きなんだ。こんな痛快な部活が近いうちにまたできるといいね。
Yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty sweet. I'm always down for them. Those scenes are super fun. She laughed with a smile that made you feel refreshed just by looking at it. At that moment, the shop owner came out carrying a paper bag. I wonder what it is. Are you giving it to us?
今日はみんな本当にありがとう。おかげでイベントは大盛り上がりだったよ。大したものじゃないけど、これ今日のおだちんに。
Is it a game?
あ、吉郎おじさん。
あ？
私にはないの？おだちん。
かわいいのが出てきましたわよ。
Uncle Yoshiro. How literal is the uncle there? Something also worth pointing out that it's one of her uncles that supposedly has a store that she has to work at. I don't know. I mean, it's obviously possible that she has more than one uncle, but it seems kind of strange. When Satoko and Rika-chan opened up the bag, there were cute little stuffed animals inside.
わあ、これかわいい。お持ち帰りしていいの？
No.
本当に？
ってことは俺のもかな。なんだかやたら可愛いのが出てきたぞ。
Nice. It was a stuffed toy wearing a beautiful dress, one he'd used to play house. Rena's eyes were glued to my stuffed doll. Satoko was the same, and oh, they're gonna fight over it. Rika-chan too?
ケイちゃんには一番似合わないのが出てきちゃったね。
Unlucky.
なんつうのか、プリティっていうかキュートっていうか可愛いのは認めるんだが、着せ替え人形はちょっとな。
That is not exactly his style.
ケイちゃんが持ってたら確実に明日からあれな趣味の人扱いだね。うん。
That is true. Mion didn't have to go that far. This wasn't something a guy like me should be carrying around. Mion was the only one who hadn't received a present, so I thought about giving it to her. However, after briefly considering, I gave it to Rena instead. Man, Mion wanted that thing. Look at how disappointed she is. She's not even hiding it. Poor Mion. Still probably my favorite character in the game.
くれるの？レナに？
Or at least in the down moments. I can't really compare the crazy moments yet because, I mean, Mion hasn't had as many as Rena, you know? And maybe it's gonna stay that way, but like, we haven't seen, like, super serious development of Mion yet. But we know she's gonna go, we know she can go crazy, so.
ありがとう。
保身のためだよ。レナにあげないと夜道が怖い。
Bro, she's hurt. She's laughing the pain away.
違いない違いない。
ミオンにあげようかと思ったけど、ちょっと違うよな。
へへへへ。分かってるじゃない。
Nah, she looked hurt,
私
bro.
さ、どうして男に生まれなかったのかなって思う時あるよ。
女でよかったな。男だったらもうとっくに殺してる。
Oh, good God. I'd like to see you try.
今のうちに殺しといた方がいいよ。
You don't understand how literal she's being, bro. You do not understand how literal she is being right now.
じゃないとケイちゃん、死んで後悔することになるから。
Dog, she's being serious. This is not a joke. She's being dead serious. Mion laughed after saying such an ominous line. Everybody laughed heartily along with
来
her.
世では神様に男にしてもらえるように頼めよ。俺も男にしてもらうから。
そしたらケイちゃんと組んで軽く全国制覇から始めようかね。
Mio-chan, if you don't get going soon, the shop owner told her meekly. A lot of us looked like we were having a lot of fun, so it must have been hard to put a wet blanket on things. Yeah,
じ
that's
ゃあ
fair.
ね。今日は最高に楽しかった。またねみんな。明日学校で。
バイト遅刻すんなよ。
Everybody waved their hands and watched as Mion left. Before I knew it, the sun was already setting and the breeze carried a hint of chill.
もうちょっと街で遊んでいく？それとも帰るかな？
Probably go home.
暗くなると道が怖いですよ。
So let's get moving now while it's not.
では引き上げ時ですわね。今日は本当にいっぱい騒ぎましたわ。
そうだな。よっしゃ、帰ろうぜ。
The wind blew gently, as if to cool down those of us flushed with enthusiasm. The road back to Hinamizawa was long, but I didn't really mind.
そうそう。レナさん圧勝でございましたわね。
Yeah.
レナがああなっちゃ悪いけど誰にも勝ち目はないな。
Yeah, that's pretty much true. There is no winning.
だってすごい可愛いカルタだったんだもの。
Oh, believe me, we know.
ほら、買っちゃったんだよ。はう。リカも相変わらずですわ。
That's gotta be a scheme, bro. Giving her the cute ones, that's a conspiracy.
リカにかかれば男どもなんて赤子の手をひねるようなものですわね。楽勝だったのです。
どこまで計算づくでどこまでが天然なのか。リカちゃんの行く末が実に怖いな。
Valid.
さとこちゃんだってすごかったね。最後は大盛り上がりだったよ。褒められるようなゲームではありませんでしたよ。
Yeah, I mean, you pulled it out in the end, though, with that trap. It's pretty clean.
ケイチも最後はとうとう牙を剥きましたです。
Barely, but yeah, we did.
まあな。俺は追い詰められてからが強い男なんだ。
富田さんたちなんだかすっごく応援してましたけど、何ですかしらね。
Don't worry about it.
富田と岡村に何か約束してましたです。
Oh, she knows that
きっ
much.
と内緒話なのですよ。
Yep.
内緒話。なんだろうね。
Bro, it's diabolical. You don't want to know. You don't want to live in the timeline where we get to, fulfill that promise.
男には時に戦いを通じてしか語り合えないものがあるんだよ。
Desperately laughing, I frantically tried to avoid the subject. After that, everybody continued to praise each other for how they defeated their opponents and reflected on how fun today was.
見てごらんなさいませ。
Really nice CG.
夕日が綺麗でございますわよ。
Satoko, getting even more excited, pointed, waiting where her finger indicated was an immense sunset, casting even longer shadows of us on our bikes. The cries of the Higurashi were gentle and very comforting. Boy, they're comforting now. Wait till the end of the chapter, bro. There's gonna be no comfort. I'm already known. They're gonna be straight up death. Who's Mion's uncle? That's a good question. I would love to see the answer to this one. Alright, let's go ahead and start by saving. And view the tip. Who's Mion's uncle?
ごめん。今日はさ、急におじさんの店のバイトが入っちゃってさ。
なんだなんだ。じゃあ今日の部活。
いや申し訳ない。
Mion put her hands together in apology and grinned.
そんなに部活がやりたかったら、おじさん抜きでやってもいいけど。部活ロッカーにゲームがいっぱい入ってるからさ。どれか適当に選んで。
The club locker was the transdimensional space from which Mion pulled games whenever we met for club activities. Transdimensional space. I wondered how so many freaking games could be stored in the locker, even smaller than the one with the cleaning supplies in it. Besides those games, there was also a cornucopia of suspicious objects, costumes for punishment games. If we lined them all up on the floor in order to sort them, they would definitely fill the entire classroom. Oh, good God.
やめとく。
Good God.
俺がいじったらロッカーの中身がドサドサって溢れてきそうな気がするよ。
Disaster would strike.
そうだね。素人は手を出さない方が無難かもしれない。
Maybe for the best. Mion gave a hearty laugh, implying that the only one who could do so was the club president.
みー、先生が体育倉庫の鍵を探してますですよ。
Really hasn't answered our question at all, though, so
心
far.
当たりはありませんですか？
あれ？私職員室に返せなかったっけ？
Mion said, feeling about in her pocket. Judging by her expression, she must have planned on returning it, but it was still in her pocket.
ほら、やっぱりミオンさんですのよ。私、絶対そうだと確信してたでございますわ。
She just knew, bro. Sometimes you just know.
僕も大正解なのですよ。さとこと一緒に大正解なのです。
Giggling, Satoko and Rika-chan clapped their hands together in celebration.
やかましい。
Oh, she just fade both of them? Slap, clap. Mion elbowed Satoko and Rika-chan in their heads, then headed for the teacher's
あ、
lounge.
そうだ。二人とも聞いたか。今日はミオンバイトがあるから部活はお休みだとさ。
あら、そうなんですの？それはつまらないでございますわね。
It's very droll of her.
みー。
Me. The two of them made disappointed faces. Whatever anyone said, Mion's club was always the number one thing I looked forward to when going to school. It wasn't hard to agree with their melancholic expressions after hearing it wouldn't be happening
ミ
today.
オンってバイトをやってるんだよな。あいつ一体何のバイトをしてるんだ？
Okay, so now we're getting into the meat of it. Whenever Mion canceled club, it was usually because of her job. However, it also didn't seem like she went there every day. She would go 2 or 3 days in a row, then not go at all for a while. It sounded like a pretty damn random part-time job.
別に決まったお店でお勤めをしてるわけではないのです。
決まってないってことは、じゃあ日雇いってことなのか？
Mion, wearing socks and a helmet, sweating to death in a factory. I couldn't imagine such a thing.
ミオンさんはおじさんの店にお休みが出たりすると応援に駆けつける便利屋さんなんだそうですわ。
ああ、なるほどな。そういえばおじさんのとこでバイトなんて話前にも聞いたことがあるような気がする。
Yeah? I mean, we have
お
heard that
店を持
before,
っ
but...
てるおじさんがいっぱいいるので、
Okay,
ミーは引っ張りだこなのです。
that does check out with the line when we saw that other guy was her uncle. Why are there so many uncles? She has a lot of uncles who own shops? A lot of them.
あら、ケイイチさんはご存知ありませんの？沖宮にはミオンさんの親戚の方がやってるお店って結構いっぱいありますのよ。
I mean, that checks out from what we know.
へえ、それは知らなかった。 そんなにいろいろあるのか？
パン屋さんとか八百屋さんとかラーメン屋さんとか他にもまだまだ。
It does check out. You know, we're seeing about the produce market. I mean, unless everybody's in on a lie here, this might not be a lie.
あの部活をやったおもちゃ屋さんもそうなんですのよ。
Although it's also not crazy to think that it could all be a lie that they're in on together, frankly. I mean, we've seen that they all have ties to these murders, so it wouldn't be that crazy for them to have, like, concocted a lie there. I'm not necessarily saying they have. I might be just overly suspicious right now. That's kind of what I'm feeling, but, like, I don't know. It's not that out of the blue, or it wouldn't be that crazy. Out of the question is what I was looking for. Wouldn't be out of the question for them to all be in on a lie like that. I was dumbfounded. That's amazing.
ミオンの一族って何気に詳細があるんじゃないのか？それだけいろいろあるってのもなんだかすごいよな。
What I've heard, I mean, they basically run the place, right? I mean, the whole family is pretty deeply tied into everything here, you know? So, it's not that surprising that they also own the commerce, you know? They own the business, they seem to run a lot of the, like, governmental stuff, or at least very behind, like, very central, not in governmental stuff, I guess, but, and the political aspects of life here. Like, remember when they were building the dam and we're gonna flood Hinamizawa, right? They were the ones that were very vocal, right? So that's not that surprising. Either way, it seems like their family is just absolutely dominant here. I don't know, although you gotta wonder, in a place like this, a family that dominant, like, could they be up to no good? It kind of seems likely based on what we know, right? That they're not exactly, like, you know, innocent in all this, so it might not be that crazy to think that that's just their family thing, you know? Like, their family rules the place in a not good way, like a mafia or Yakuza kind of way, like yeah, we run this town, like they're a gang. That's gotta be, okay. Well, it might not be that much of a stretch. Kind of like a hidden, more like a hidden Illuminati thing, if anything. If anything. Right? If they are secretly doing evil things behind the doors, it's definitely more of a conspiracy thing than yeah, we're a gang, like, you know, we're brazenly, like, out in the streets, we rule this place, like, for example, like, you know, like, at least like a stereotypical Yakuza would, right? I don't know. I don't actually know that much about, like, Yakuza and how they tend to operate. Are they typically, like, kind of flashy and like, yeah, we run this place? I don't know, but it seems like if they are doing anything sinister like that and aren't just coincidentally tied to all of this stuff, then it's more of a conspiracy kind of thing than rather than, like, yeah, we're a Yakuza gang or mafia or mob, I don't know, that just runs this place. Like I said, I just keep getting, I don't know, when she talks about working at these part-time jobs, she could be serious. She could just be lying. I'm probably just looking too deep into this, but I'll go on tangents about what I random tangents about what I'm thinking for like 10 minutes, and then they're never relevant. That's how it goes half the time, right? Like, I don't know, I'm just getting a weird vibe. She talked about the part-time job and how her family runs this place, like, basically, like, they have all these kind of crazy businesses, and how they're tied to the dam killing, and how they're tied to, you know, one of the, what? It's some of the murder cases on Watanagashi, or like one of them, right? Wait, no. I don't think they were tied to that. They were tied to the dam case really heavily. I thought they were tied to more than they were. It's actually her that's tied to two of the Watanagashi cases, and one for Rika, and then wait, Was Mion tied to one? I think so, right? I swear they said something about the Sonozaki family being tied to one of them. And weren't they like, didn't they go up to the police, right, and demand they stop investigating Rushmore or something in one of the tips? I'll have to check it. But I feel like I remember them doing something like presently corrupt. I don't know. I think there's probably something to the idea that the Sonozaki family is not exactly some good family that happens to have a lot of, like, say in the town. That's all I'm saying. To the degree to which that is true is something we're going to learn, right? That degree could mean none at all. I would be very surprised if they weren't at all involved in a lot of the things going on, you know? I'd be very surprised. It's possible. But I think for me, it's more of a question like how much. Is it like just a little bit, or are they the ringleaders of all the Watanagashi killings? I don't know. This has been one hell of a tangent. Because I think the identity of what exactly the Sonozaki family does, who they are, right, what their role in this town is, I think it's actually going to be pretty crucial, right? I mean, it's the same, you know, what her ties are to this, and same with, you know, like, you know, Rika, Satoko, right? Both of what their ties are all going to be relevant, but right now, the Sonozaki family is the most relevant one to me. Anyways, really long tangent, done, I think. Let's move on.
他にも金融業とか不動産業とかアパレル産業とかアミューズメント産業とかいろいろやってると言ってますです。
Okay, like, they really run this place, like, even more than what I was saying. Okay, a couple of weird things came up that time, but still, I could tell it was pretty extensive.
あいつに物を借りると妙に返却期限にうるさいのは金融業者さんの血が流れてるからか。納得納得。
I guess that's how it is sometimes. That explains that.
ミーに100億長者ゲームを借りたことをコロリと忘れてしまったらリアルで100億長者ゲームをプレイさせたるどと凄まれましたのです。
Dear God, Rion. You are frightening. Rika-chan being sold into the entertainment industry to pay off her debts. Ah, crap. My nosebleed. Bro, you are... Go.
リアルに100億長者ゲームをプレイなんてなかなかに愉快そうですわね。
I don't think that's what she meant, Satoko, but yeah, sure. Huh? She doesn't really get it, does she? Recently she seemed so unspoiled. Rika-chan and I gave her a pat on the head.
なぜ撫でられるんですの？
That's the sign that you're just not picking the picture, you're not getting the full picture here.
さとこはいい子さんですからなでなでなのです。
Too innocent. Satoko was lost in confusion, but she seemed to understand she was being made fun of. Okay. Wow, that was a pretty long tangent, wasn't it? I think we wrapped that up. For some reason, I want to say it was at the 120 mark. We're at 133. Blessed smile. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, so we kind of already extensively talked about this. At first, we weren't really getting any information. But the big thing there is just the extent to which the Sonozaki family also controls the commerce and the economy of this town, right? And I think it's a big thing. I wouldn't be surprised if, because of how much they like kind of rule this town's commerce, that's a big part of why they the dam killing happened, or like they were so adamant towards the dam reconstruction project or dam construction project, and then the dam killing happened, and I think they were pretty tied to that. And it could explain, you know, why like Neon gets whipped into a frenzy like that, like she did in Chapter 1, why she was going crazy. It could easily explain that. I am getting, when she's talking about part-time jobs, I'm getting vibes that she's doing more, like, I don't know, the timing of it it just doesn't feel like, maybe this is a little meta, but it doesn't feel like this is a plot device that would just be completely irrelevant, right? Something that's been brought up, that was brought up in the last chapter, right, as well. And in this chapter, and kind of cut that scene short, could it truly just be, right, the author, or like the intention is, you know, to cut some of the, like, just to change things up, right, having Mio not there for a day for whatever reason. Sure, it could be, right, but for some reason it feels like, to me, it feels like if you're writing these in, you're probably writing them in for a reason, right? And so my immediate thought is that it's something more sinister and maybe somehow tied to the dark roots of Hinamizawa that we know were there. We don't know the extent of them, right? But we know they're there, and maybe that's what these jobs are. Because we've never, like, really verified that she was at one of them. You know, I don't think we've ever, like, actually rolled up and been like, yep, she's selling eggs, right? So, I don't know. Anyways, that's got to be enough about the Sonozaki family. You get my point. I think it runs deeper than it looks, right? No matter how you look at it, no matter what you think is going on with them, I don't think what they would appear as the surface is what they really are. That's my take. So about the episode itself, it was really slow. In the sense of story progression, it was a really fun episode. Nothing super relevant happened. I was talking earlier about how I needed to get my theories regarding route progression out right then in case it became super clear, super fast. No, none of that. Absolutely none of that. There was literally nothing that would indicate anything about how this route is connected to the first one. I feel like there's got to be some way that these routes are connected. Maybe they aren't. I mean, maybe that's just how it is. Maybe it is just going to be 8 completely separate routes, you know? I don't know. I'm not going to go on a super long tangent about that. I already kind of went on a tangent about that. I wouldn't be surprised if they're all interconnected somehow. I just don't know what plot device they would use to get there, you know? We'll just have to pay attention, see if anything seems to know something they shouldn't, you know? Because, I mean, that's really the only way you can kind of connect these routes. Other than a route where everyone just happens to do everything right, you know? And put together all the pieces of the puzzle completely by coincidence this time, you know? Which is possible, of course. But, I don't know. So we didn't really get any of that. I mean, it was just them playing board games. And then setting up for the Watanagashi Festival, having something big going on, you know? I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm looking forward to whatever is going on at that festival, man. It's going to be more than just a board game. Come on. Like, the name of the chapter is Watanagashi. Let's be real. Something humongous is going to happen there. Probably, I mean, it's probably going to even be bigger than the last chapter. We literally had somebody die, you know? I wouldn't be surprised if it was bigger than that. I don't know. Maybe not. But we'll see. I really enjoyed the episode, though, even though it wasn't super plot heavy. I think there's enough things to latch on to here that it was still really interesting plot-wise. Right, there's some things to latch on to, mainly the Sonozaki family. Right at the end, I have a feeling this is going to be like Mion's route. Right, for a second there, I was saying because it's the Watanagashi, it might be, oh my goodness, Rika's route. But I'm kind of leaning Mion now. Just good. I love Mion. My favorite character in the game so far. I would love to see more of the deep stuff going on with her. Right. Super interested. I'm hoping to record again soon. I might even be able to record again tomorrow. I only did like a half episode today, so I could just do another half episode tomorrow and then start doing full episodes again after that. I'm not going to promise that I'm recording again tomorrow, of course, but I don't think I've got really anything going on, so it's quite possible. Anyways, that is going to be all for me today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I hope you guys are looking forward to more Higurashi Chapter 2. It should come out at a more regular pace than recently. Well, I say that. I was just taking a break between chapters is one of the big things, but I also kind of paced the uploads for chapter 1 super poorly, so I'm hoping to pace them out a bit better and just maybe kind of get through chapters pretty quick, take a quick break, you know, get through the next chapter pretty quick. That's the hope. So hopefully we can get through this chapter pretty quick. That's the idea. Anyways, like I said, if you guys enjoyed the video, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the next one, and peace. Alright, so I mentioned this earlier in the video, but I did I was doing a bonus episode where I was going to record me watching, reviewing the prologue of Chapter 1, as well as a few other scenes. Because of some technical issues, I ended up stopping the video early, and so instead I have decided to just tack on the review of the prologue to the end of this video, because I think that was the really interesting parts. I had kind of started doing the other stuff, but it was basically me just rewatching the same scenes, and maybe I would have come to different conclusions, but I was mainly just reiterating the same points. So if you guys still want to see me go back and look at some of the Chapter 1 stuff, to see if I can maybe figure out some more stuff, there are a few key scenes that I had wanted to look at again, and determine some stuff, such as him going berserk in the entryway to the house. We did completely rewatch the scene. I keep saying rewatch. Reread the scene of Keiichi in the phone booth. I wanted to reread the note and what was discovered out of that note. Those are the scenes I was going to reread. So if you're interested in seeing those, just let me know. And now that I got my setup fixed, we can do that if you guys are interested. But at the very least, I figured you guys might be interested in some of my theories regarding the prologue and the immediate point after it. I kind of brought up some of those points in this video, actually. But you know, I thought they were interesting enough that they warranted being put in the video somewhere. So I hope you guys enjoy the bonus content. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into it though. We're just going to hit start. Just start from the beginning. Onikakushi opening. Demon Away chapter. Welcome to the world of Higurashi When They Cry. The Onikakushi arc will be the opening, inviting you into this world. Sit back, relax, and enjoy life in Hinamizawa to the fullest. Yeah, something like that. The difficulty for this chapter is extremely high, but I hope you will enjoy the reward. Creepy ass laugh, bro. Oh my goodness. Please do not deploy yourself. Even if the world does not forgive you, I will forgive you. Please do not deploy yourself. Even if you do not forgive the world, I will forgive you. So please tell me, what will it take for you to forgive me? What is that? What is that text in the bottom right? Retrograde Bernkastal. I don't know what any of that means. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance? Yeah. Okay. 1983. My initial thought is that this is going to be... Initially, my assumption was that this scene was probably Keiichi getting murdered, and I'm now... My last prediction as to what it actually might have been, I think I said this in the comments, was I'm kind of wondering if this scene is actually him killing... goodness. Oh my god, why? Rena and Mion. I was drawing blanks for a second on their names. Because he said he forgot it, right? But then he was like, no, not really. So I'm kind of wondering... Hey, that's why I'm so interested. That's why I wanted to record this, to see if that's what this was. I'm gonna jump into it. Well, it's going to be ripped apart anyways. Having my body ripped apart would have been far better. I trusted her. No, I still trust her. Even in this very moment, I trust her. But I'm starting to realize I only wanted to trust her because I refused to accept the truth. It was as if I was trying to convince myself in such a silly, sobbing voice. And those tears making a mess of my face. A mechanical, repetitious sound finally stilled and everything fell silent. Only the cry of the cicadas remained, annoyingly loud. And yet, I felt as if I could still hear her voice. That's not possible. She's no longer speaking. The only one crying is me. She never cried. Even when she repeated those words over and over, she never expressed any emotion, because there were none to show. That feels a lot like... This feels a lot more like exactly what I was saying, rather than what my initial prediction was. Looking back on it, it feels kind of obvious that this was him doing the murdering. But if she had no tears to shed for me, then I shouldn't need to shed any for her. Then why? This pain, my eyes getting moist. Why was this happening? I still wanted to believe I hadn't been split apart. I get that line probably is what did it for me. That's enough, right? Inside me, an inner voice whispered gently. My spirit had suffered enough. And countless times I'd wavered over whether I should just throw the battered thing away. Except, I've stubbornly refused to do that, haven't I? Feel better if I just threw it away. Even knowing that, I chose to believe, didn't I? Only I can understand that painful struggle and appreciate it. Hey, me? I've tried more than enough. I'll acknowledge that much. So, isn't it alright to just take the easy way out? Besides, I'm not throwing it away. I'm leaving it behind. With her. Like flowers by a grave. Now then, calm your nerves. Even though you can't feel your right arm, this, if you ask me, just lift it up. Then with every swing, my eyes getting more forget what was happening. I still wanted to believe I hadn't been split apart. That's enough, right? Inside me, an inner voice whispered gently. My spirit had suffered enough, and countless times I'd wavered over whether I should just throw the battered thing away. I'm not actually sure what he's referring to there. Does he literally mean the bat? Except I've stubbornly refused to do that, haven't I? I'd feel better if I just threw it away. Even knowing that, I choose to believe, didn't I? Okay, I think he means like his faith, right? Like the battered thing, like his faith, his hope, I guess. I'm gonna take it to mean kind of like his hope. He's refused to throw it away. He'd feel better if he just did, but he can't, right? And even knowing that, he chose to believe. So that I think that's what that means, kind of. I can understand this. Tried more than enough, I'll acknowledge that much. So, isn't it alright to just take the easy way out? I gotta be honest. Besides, I'm not throwing it away, I'm leaving it behind with her like flowers by a grave. Right? It kind of sounds like, or maybe him like throwing away his innocence, right? Or leaving it behind with her, or who he was, right? Maybe, my question is the, like, when he says the easy way out, is that the easy way out that you see referred to all the time, as in suicide, right? Is that him saying, like, I'm just gonna die, right? At this point, why bother? Is that what he's saying? If he is, that heavily implies that the whole there's a curse thing and that somebody was following him into that phone booth is complete cap, right? Is that what he's saying? I'm not sure. It's something to keep in mind, though. I mean, he's obviously talking about Reno. I kind of wanted to see the train scene because of this line right here that I remembered. Somebody has been apologizing for a while now. I wonder what she's apologizing for. I felt wrong to eavesdrop, so I tried to ignore it. It had been a while since I'd last went to the city. I only returned to attend the funeral of a relative. Even though I'd lived there until last month, I found the bustle of the city to be overwhelming. The skyscrapers and the multi-lane roads, the melodious cacophony of the crosswalk. Even the campaign speeches blaring in front of the station felt nostalgic. The place where I live now isn't nearly as lively. There's only the chirping of locusts and the babbling of brooks, and the cry of the Higurashi, the evening cicadas. Rather than making me feel lonely, that quietness had begun to instill a sense of serenity. There's nothing where I'm living now. I don't just mean there aren't any burger joints. Okay, I don't think... Is any more of this any relevant? I don't know that it is. Somebody's still apologizing. Who is she apologizing to? She's apologized so much, so just forgive her already. There's no reason anyone should ever need to apologize so much. You might think that now. I started to feel a bit annoyed at whoever was refusing to forgive her. No matter how bad the mistake, there's nothing that can't be forgiven. There's no such thing as an irreparable mistake. You just need to be more careful next time. She's still apologizing even now. And has she really done something that can't be fixed? I have no idea what she's done, but if it can't be fixed, that's all the more reason to forgive her. No matter how much she apologizes, nothing will change. But even so, she keeps apologizing in such a heartbreaking voice. Hey, you. The one she's apologizing to. Why don't you just go ahead and forgive her? She's apologizing in such a pathetic voice.
圭一、そろそろ着くぞ。
Why did that jump scare me like
起き
that?
なさい。
I was finally roused from my nap by my father's prodding. Okay, so... The main reason I wanted to see that again, I don't think there's anything else relevant, is to me, that scene very, very much feels like Rena. What the hell does that mean towards this mystery? This really feels like Rena apologizing to him to me. Is it? Probably not. Or maybe it's just him hearing Rena's apologies. Why would he be hearing Rena's apologies, though? First of all, I feel like he would have recognized Rena's voice, so that might just be... I don't know. I think he would recognize if it was Rena, right? Oh my goodness, my webcam. I'm losing my mind. It literally has been fine all day. Whoops, too far. I tried to ignore it. I guess maybe that could be the justification if he didn't recognize who it was. I don't know. This just feels like... Oh my goodness. Literally, what is wrong with my webcam? Whatever. Man, this kind of... It's kind of an interesting mirror to the things that we saw within the game. I don't remember exactly what Keiichi said when she was saying I'm sorry over and over, but I can certainly say this was not his response, right? And so, yeah, that's a bit of interesting character change there. But the more interesting thing is, does this, should I take this literally? In the sense that this is so unbelievably reminiscent of what Rena said. And we're hearing this right after he dreamed of when he killed her. The question then is, does this mean anything? I don't know. The person in me who loves I guess like time loop stories, right? Kind of wants to say it could be something like that, but I don't. It's so bold to make that prediction. I think that'd be very interesting. For now, I might leave it at that. For now, I think the idea that he is somehow, I don't know, has memories, essentially, of what happened in Chapter 1 before Chapter 1 happened, right? I think that's an interesting idea. And here's the thing. Like, this dream happened. He had this dream. Could you see this as something that you're intended to view afterwards, right? And it's not something that he literally saw? Maybe, right? Maybe. But I can't help but feel like this kind of reminds me of like any of the various games I've played, right? With like different kind of timelines, and somehow people will remember things from a timeline that they haven't really experienced. That's what this feels like to me. Maybe that's highly irrational. Maybe that's just I enjoy that trope and am seeing a potential setup for it. Because it feels like he remembers the murder, as well as remembering Ren apologizing over and over, right? And he doesn't hear it after he was roused awake. Like, even things like, you know, she keeps apologizing in such a heartbreaking voice. That could mean anyone, but that again feels like it matches Rena's description. Like, it really, truly to me feels like it's meant to mirror, like, or just straight up be Rena, right? And one, it kind of shows how Keiichi's mentality changes eventually, right? You could take it, maybe I'm looking at this and completely overanalyzing this. I think a more realistic idea of what this is it's probably just meant to show how Keiichi's mentality changes throughout the game, right? And how, you know, if something can't be fixed, then forgive her. Nothing's going to change, no matter how much she apologizes. Just forgive her, right? And then you have chapter 1, where Rena stalked him, right, and was trying to get in, right, and he slams the door on her, and she's apologizing this whole time, and he will not. He it doesn't matter to him. It's not that it, like, I don't remember, like, I'm not saying like it made him like angry or something. I genuinely don't remember, to be honest. But I can certainly say he held firm, right? He didn't listen to her apologies and be like, "You're right. It's okay. It's what's done is done," right? You know, that was absolutely not him. So it could just be meant to be this whole, because when we got there, I remember hearing those apologies calling back directly to this scene, right? And it is interesting how much he's changed in that time. So realistically, that's what it means, right? That's probably what it means. But there's the part of me that really is kind of hoping that there is some element of, like, I guess, time loop, world lines, something like that. And I don't think it's completely impossible, right? It depends on how the format of this game works. The big thing to think about is this game has 8 chapters, right? And if we assume the story is going to progress in unique ways in each one, how is this all going to culminate, right? Is there just going to be one chapter where everything just happens to fall into place? I don't know. Or is it going to be each chapter builds on the last one because of that idea, right? Maybe some kind of world line thing going on, right? And maybe he vaguely remembers, like, oh, this happened, and let's avoid that this time, and so something else happens. Maybe it's just all completely different. But again, the question is how things would culminate if it's all just different possibilities. How would it all culminate in us solving the mystery? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe there isn't some grand conclusion where everything is solved, right? And maybe you as the player are expected to solve it. It'd be kind of interesting. For some reason, I doubt it. I really don't know. Maybe this is too much meta thinking, that maybe that's how it works because of how the routes seemingly work. This is all assuming Keiichi and them come back, but I'd be immensely surprised if, well, we know Keiichi is in chapter 2. That kind of got soft confirmed by the scene the little fun scene we got, the review session after chapter 1, right? It was kind of soft confirmed that Keiichi is again the protagonist in chapter 2, and he's dead, which means something has to go back and change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep I'm not necessarily willing to commit to the idea that there's some time loop here just off of something this small. I like the idea. I think it's very possible. I'm not fully sold on it, but I'm going to keep my eyes open for anything like that. Now, this is really out there, and so if I'm wrong, I look like an idiot right now. And go ahead, when it's disproven, you guys can laugh at me, right? But I don't know. I spent, what, 7 minutes talking about that possibility? Good lord. All right. So I don't think there is anything left to say here, so we're going to exit to the main menu.